Well, I originally heard about Ignite American Football when I got an email from my head teacher saying that there's an American football coach coming in to work with my Year 5 children for one term from Christmas to Easter. So that's the first I'd ever heard of Ignite Football, to be honest. And I was excited because it's something I'd never done in my teaching career. I wouldn't say I was never worried about an American football coach coming in. I was quite excited because in my class I have lots of boys, quite challenging at times, and I thought it'd be a fantastic thing for the boys particularly to be. Maybe I was slightly worried about the girls and how their take-up would be with American football. It was fun, the girls loved it as much as the boys, and because they were worried about the combative nature of American football, but it was taught in a way that the girls, they weren't, so it wasn't a physical game, it was more touch at primary school age. In all, my experience with Ignite American Football was fantastic. Kids loved it, they looked forward to it each week. Every Monday when Coach Kenny came in, every morning I'd get, is Kenny in today, is Kenny in today? So the kids were looking forward to it all day. Made my morning fun because they were all looking forward to the afternoon, but it was, they were excited. And for me personally, I learned a lot of warm-ups and things that I can transfer to other PE lessons. Okay, before the American football coach came to my school, I hadn't had much experience with American football. I'm always a football man, and football's football. American football is not for me, to be honest. But I have learned actually to enjoy the game. Before, I thought it was a very physical game. It was very long, with matches lasting 3-4 hours at a time. Lots of stop, starting and changing. And I didn't know how that would transfer to primary school age, if I'm honest. But in general, I've learned to like American football myself. From having American football, I've learned sort of a new sport that, with the exception of 1 or 2 children, had very little exposure to. So they've learned to try new things and not be afraid, and take the risks basically, and take the challenges, and things they weren't sure of, give it a go and see what happens. So. Well, it's new experience is something that lots of kids don't get the chance to do, and they might never get the chance to do without this specific programme that comes in. Obviously it fulfils an hour of the PE curriculum each week, so it's good on that basis. It's good for general health and exercise and warm-ups, and it's good for teamwork as well, so the children learning to work in teams. Every skill they've learned in American football can be transferred to either the classroom or other sports, so it's been very useful to the children. Okay, in general, the American football sessions, they were progressive, so I think it was an 8-week programme, and each week built on from the previous week. But the way the general sessions would go, there'd be a warm-up session where by the 3rd or 4th week the children were comfortable with. The coach, basically, he gave them the instructions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they knew what they were doing. That warmed them up for 5-10 minutes or so. And then there was a team building session, which was games-based, so it was enjoyable for the children, and it learnt them skills that could be transferred to an American football session. Towards the end, we played more sort of whole group sessions where they learned specific skills for American football. And my experience with American football and Ignite in particular has been like nothing but positive. So I would say that if schools are considering it, give it a trial and see if it works for your school.